guys, Ragnar here. So you're probably looking at this video and saying, who the fuck is this guy? Well, I'm nobody. I'm just a regular guy. Thought about starting a podcast probably about a year ago. Did some research on proper equipment, all that stuff, editing software. I mean, if you do these things, it's a lot. There's a little bit of a learning curve, so I put it off for a while, trying to find like the perfect format, perfect way to do things, and I just said, you know what, there's really no need to be perfect. I'll probably improve as time goes on. Post-production will be better and better. So here I am. I think I'm going to call this, episode 0, since it's just me. Format, I'm probably going to do, multiple guest kind of call-in format. Different topics. I got a lot to say. People I know have a lot to say, and I think that you may be interested in what we say. So a little bit about me, just so you kind of know, a little bit about my background. So I really have got 3 stages of life. So let me just start at the initial stage. So birth to 20 years old. Of course, I'm not going to go through every year of my life here, but up until age 20, I was living on the south side of Chicago. Grew up on the south side of Chicago, born and raised in the same home until I left home on the south side of Chicago. When I say Chicago, I mean Chicago. I know there's a lot of you folks out there that say, somebody asks where you're from and you say you're from Chicago, but you're really not. You're from some suburb of Chicago. So, you know how we get folks that are actually from Chicago who get pretty particular. So, if your area code wasn't 312 and you weren't from Chicago, I think now, though, even some of the in the city area codes have changed out of 312. There's just, I guess, too many people. Anyway, grew up on the south side. I'll probably talk about that through some of the episodes, and won't go into really any details now, just so you know. Second stage, 25 years active duty military. Retired in 2010 as an Air Force Chief Master Sergeant, or Chief. For those of you in other services that don't know what a Chief Master Sergeant is, it's a E9. For those of you who don't know anything about the military at all, it's the highest enlisted grade in any branch of the service. It is capped by law to 1% of the enlisted force can hold the grade of chief or E9. Other branches, sergeant major, I think Navy's master chief, petty officer. So anyway, 25 years active duty Air Force. I was a security forces guy for most of that time. For those that don't know, security forces is, military police, force protection, anti-terrorism, law enforcement, nuclear security, military working dogs, basically all the above you can be involved in. Air-based defense, when you're in a deployed environment, ground defense up to several kilometers outside the fence line. We do all kinds of cool stuff too. We've got some really cool equipment, and I'll probably talk about that, or have some folks on that, maybe been to sniper school, or flew some of the UAVs and things like that. I think it'd be cool to talk about. So I finished my career in Ohio, my last active duty assignment, and I decided to stay, not go back to Chicago, not go back to Illinois, stay in Ohio. It's a great decision. Ended up meeting my wife there, the one that counts, the current one. So after I retired, I took a job as a civilian working for the Department of Defense in Ohio. I've done several things as a civilian, a little bit of inspector general work and some other stuff. And I might talk about some of that stuff in future episodes. Probably not a lot, though. There's not a lot I could really talk about. So I'll kind of keep that on the down low. So what else about me? So I guess at this point I have 38 years of continuous service to the United States through the Department of Defense, Department of Air Force. I'm a lifelong motorcycle rider. I probably started riding when I was about 16 years old. Learned on some smaller motorcycles. Had a few mishaps, probably talk about that a couple times. Right now I ride an ultra classic that I converted to a trike because I have some medical issues I'm going through. But I've also ridden with 3 MCs, motorcycle clubs. Probably get into that a little bit in future episodes. What else? That's pretty much it. That's my 3 kind of epochs of time, from Chicago, active duty Air Force, DOD civilian, motorcycle club guy, tattoo collector, I would say. I'm definitely an art collector. I might talk about tattoos a little bit. Might have my my artists come on and talk about some stuff. So right now, I'm not in the normal quote unquote studio that I'm going to be in when I do my podcasts. Right now I'm out of town for work, temporary duty, TDY, whatever they call it these days, but basically a business conference that I'm attending right now. So I figured I'd get on here and maybe do a quick introduction, episode 0. So you might ask yourself, so what does this guy got to say and why should I listen? Well, I really don't know. I was watching, Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan Experience. Of course, he's, light years ahead of any other podcaster. But basically, I remember watching him talk about it, and he basically said that, it's just him and his friends having a conversation. That was his concept, and that's what he does. And it's amazing to me. He has guests on, and some of these guests he has on, they have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, they're spouting, things like it's the truth, and it's just their opinion. But I guess because it's Joe Rogan, everybody thinks that, the person he has on, has all the answers, but it's just an opinion. great example is a Green Beret guy he had on, and I love Green Beret guys, much respect to them. But he was talking about the VA benefits, and this guy wasn't a lifelong Green Beret. It sounded like he, did maybe 8 years and separated. And he was giving Joe Rogan all kinds of information that just was not accurate. So I'm going to try to give you the most accurate information I can, but take it with a grain of salt. You're going to hear a lot of people's opinions and what they think about things, and that's all this is. It's just opinions. I'm not trying to, give you anything that you can take to the bank as a straight up fact. I'll try to be as accurate as I can, but it's not always going to be like that. So I hope that I can bring you some good content, some entertainment, but also some informative content on different topics. I'll be getting into just about everything. So if you think that, hey, what is the theme of this podcast or this vlog or this video content or whatever you want to call it, it's going to kind of be all over the place, I think. But I will be, taking suggestions, if you want to hear on different topics. Be more than happy to get some guests on and kind of give you that content if that's something that you're looking for. So hopefully I'll get episode 1 out there as soon as I possibly can. Still thinking about what episode 1's actually going to be. Probably be a little bit of military content for episode 1. And then maybe we'll go into some other topics after that. All right, well, I don't want to make this very long as episode 0 and just basically an introduction. I will probably do 30-minute episodes, I hope. And again, we'll see how that goes. Things will definitely progress, definitely improve as I kind of learn the structure of how to do the editing and post-production and things like that. So for now, this is Ragnar, and I will be talking to you guys later.